I mean, just rotate maybe a little earlier on OG. I think they would prefer more active game. I think it was 0 kills until that first blood on mid 1. Yeah. That's a level 6 beast master. Yeah, and maybe just a little less complicated. I'm a believer in some weird 5s, but I don't know about Pango 5. Also wanted to make a comment that I didn't like the IO Shaker, because that's just a support duo that seems very greedy. But this new Ag Shard, Shaker doesn't need to blink. He's just playing from afar. We even saw the Echo because of the Aftershock onto the Fisher. That's just super cool, and I think it activates the Shaker combo.
Kevin, what kind of changes do you want to see as we are headed into the draft here for this game?
I agree with what Khaled about the Pango 5 being a little bit weak, and that's a little bit of the weird stuff that OG likes going for, but it certainly gave Beastmaster more or less a 1v1 because our Shaker was comfortable dealing with Pango with all the quick manipulation stuff. I thought the Dragonite offlane was actually pretty effective in terms of harassment. The Silver was kind of cool in that it basically guaranteed that we would get harassed a lot, but ultimately we got too much regen, ended up stabilizing, which was what kind of made everything look weak, because that's how big Dragonite just, if he doesn't like get killed in a lane, in that circumstance, he's just going to fall off compared to other heroes. So probably just a completely different set of 5 heroes for OG is what we're expecting to see.
Okay. We got Alliance picking up Nick's Assassin first. I am most curious to see if they throw Limp under the bus a little bit again there by being hero so early on in the draft to be safeful, and OG open up with the Rubik, the always fitting Rubik.
Don't we have like a stat on Rubik currently though? I think maybe it was Cap mentioned it the other day that he's got like abysmal win rate so far.
I will find out for you.
I think it was like what, like 30 something or 41 something? Like it's very low.
I was higher than that. I think it was like 46%.
46. I think that's too high.
Yeah, I think it was like 46%. Like that's not great.
Oh no, it's happening.
They made the classic blunder.
25% this month.
Oh.
And
February 1st.
This is just,
it's not February 1st.
Just this month and just in EU.
Okay, I think it might have been across the DPC.
Well, across the DPC, JJ just has stats. Obviously, he has to one up me. He gives us stats. It's 60 to 23. You know, in EU, it's only been picked 8 times. This. That is all DPC, 41%.
Well,
41%. I was correct.
This one's in the books, folks. Pack it up. It's a 2-0. They did it.
The Nature's Prophet does it.
I want to see it in the chat. I'm not going to say it here. You know what you have to do.
You play against a lion.
No, Chiefs, don't help them. The truth
Fill in the blanks.
Okay,
Fill in the blanks.
What about the Prophet is the game winner? Is the fact that it lanes well against Rubik as a support.
Giant Treants.
Okay, yeah, you can say like you're strong or whatever, but if you picked every game, if that was the case, clearly that's going to be something.
We're confused why he's not picked in every game.
It is a Zeus Salt and a Global Teleport plus an Invis Hunter. So naturally a ton of synergy. Nyx, lots of disable, map control, no tower pressure. Furion provides both map pressure and tower damage. Creeps in addition. It is Alliance, and you're playing against a Rubik that's most likely safe lane. Furion owns him. It could be core, it could be support, who knows. S4 went up a mountain to train with the master himself, Admiral Bulldog. He spent 6 months at an elevation of 8,000 meters doing nothing but learning how to control trees with his mind.
That's not true. But the Nyx Assassin, of course, you know, having that presence being the invisible assassin makes it really easy for the Nature's Prophet to be able to teleport over and participate in ganks and get one more mobile hero. You got a lot of aggression coming out from Alliance, which is what I like to see.
When we saw FNG play Nature's Prophet against Team Nigma, he was an absolute beast. And we talked earlier today in the series already that we want to see on the position 4 or 5s. We want to see supports that can contribute a lot. And I think as far if it is a Nature's Prophet 5, because obviously that's still a little bit up in the air, but if it is, this position 5 will contribute loads, and I like to see that. Puck banned out on the side of OG together with the Weaver, so 2 heroes from the previous game that they thought difficult to deal with. What do we think about the Brewmaster picked up, by the way? Pango position 5 didn't work out, but Brew position 5, how about that one?
Brew support is actually pretty darn good right now. He's got a naturally hot HP. Doesn't have a huge amount of armor, but basically, like, if you're fighting to the death, Brew is really solid right now. Lowers attack speed and movement speed when you use clap, so generally you're just going to do one trading. And you might think, like, hey, but you're not going to be that useful later with skills, because you don't have a deck. Well, you try and earn, and then you can use their Brew and then earn somebody, so you get to still use your skills from range. And obviously, splitting is still being critical as a support. So can work there. It can also lane decently well. I think against Nature's Prophet as a support, it would lane pretty darn well against Prophet. As a core against Prophet, maybe not so much.
Yeah, I agree.
It has options.
It's better suited than Pango BF5 because you're way more based around just XP-based damage. Whereas Pango, your Q and your lucky shot, like you need to be hitting stuff. Your W makes you tankier, but if you're a support, you don't really feel good about that. You can just sit there, earn from a far split. That's a ton of value from a 5 position. You don't even have to risk anything. So, as usual, thank you, Kevin.
You said it wrong, but okay.
What did I say wrong?
You said thank you, Kevin.
Yeah?
I get confused. Are we supposed to like I feel like we call him Kevin, but he's Purge, and then the PSA we call him Brian. Am I supposed to be using your first names, or am I supposed to be using?
At Midas mode, he said call me the Kevmeister, and he didn't respond if I said anything other than that.
Kyle just keeps lying.
It's his
it was Kevnator, by the way, not Kevmeister.
Ah.
Dead to me, Kyle.
So, I mean, I guess he's using different names for different people. Shady, if you ask me.
It's just good names to say. Kevin,
Ricky,
Brian. Good names. Ricky. Yep. Steve.
Is that the name of your biggest fan?
Yep, the name of Kyle's biggest fan, Steve.
It's like the name Todd.
That's good.
No?
That is strong.
Todd.
Thad.
No.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus, yeah, Thaddeus is a good name.
I feel like the old Roman names were best. They just had a bunch of, I don't know, it just felt...
Tiberius?
Alexander?
Yeah, just sounds like the name an emperor would have.
Augustus.
My middle name is Alexander. Maybe that's why I like that.
I want middle name.
What about Ricky?
Really?
Do you guys like that name?
I do like Ricky.
I love Ricky Maru better.
It's really nice against Furion once you get Battle Fury for creep clearing, and you hunt him, which is very important. Also Cloud Drake against next non-damage, disable, and silence.
Yeah, Sprout doesn't feel that effective. Like Prophet until he gets Orchid, Ricky has a lot of solutions to get out of that pressure. So kind of like is Summer's okay on Ricky, right? I can't remember. I feel like at least like medium.
Good pick.
That matchup's not good though.
That's a really good pick.
Ricky.
Well, when they did win that game against Team Nigma where they had the Nature Prophet, they'd also run the Timber Sock. And their on-course were bad. Wraith King obviously still in the pool.
5
Bad
seconds
obvious
remaining.
standout. Wait a second. Is this Alliance saving Limp's pick?
What?
What?
No way.
Way.
He's got a lot of options too. I love Timber with these two heroes. It's so flexible in the lane, and you just cover the weaknesses. You know, you got a Nyx. It's just, you know, Nyx needs damage. Timber brings a lot of damage. Doesn't have stuns. There's the Nyx for you. And you have so much pressure now because Timber can play one lane by himself. That makes Urian free to play elsewhere. It's a really nice way to add pressure. And it owns this entire draft OG right now.
So what is what are we looking for OG? Because they can run everything somewhat flexible. Although I think personally I would prefer Brew 5 Ricky obviously for mid 1. So that means we will be looking for a set and a Thompson hero.
They need Magic Burst ideally to give them some kill options against Timbersaw around the like 8-12 minute mark, somewhere there. Otherwise, Timber can, if you don't like shut him down lane, then he kind of just gets a little bit out of control. So a little bit of burst damage would be nice.
You just have trouble with that because you're playing against Nyx.
Alliances turn.
Shadow Demon.
Whoa, that's cool.
I want to also give an asterisk out here too. This could be Shadow Demon mid. Just want to say that because we have seen Thompson do that in the past. Although I hope that it means that Seb is a
10
brewmaster and that Shadow
seconds
Demon will support.
remaining.
You can't ever be 100% sure.
I don't know
5
about this.
seconds
This is
remaining.
very ambitious.
Bird is good.
I think it'd be too dangerous to play SD mid because if you're just trying to throw poison, you're just going to get Spike Carapace into comboed since you're swishy. And Timber gets on these kind of similar situations. So I think it's much more likely for Shadow Demon.
Oh, I'm loving this aggression.
This draft is really nice. It's likely a Furion support now, but like, if this is an SD Ruby support, that's the dream. These heroes do not deal with treants whatsoever, and if it's a Brew core,
10
you're also happy
seconds
because you have
remaining.
Timber against Ricky Brew cores. Like, that's the dream. I actually think
5
Devin might be right,
seconds
where it's an
remaining.
SD mid, just because it doesnn't make sense really otherwise.
That was cheaper.
That
I
would
think
be,
it's bad to play SD mid here.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm overly convinced, but it does allow you to get to the. Do you still need the axe to break and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
I don't-
Otherwise, it's just only a 7-second constant dispel.
Yeah. No, I think
Still
you
very
need
good,
that axe on the Shadow Demon because that's the way to win. But then you have to play mid because otherwise it's not going to be enough. But one thing that we mentioned after the previous game is that we want to see OG play a little bit of a faster pace because that's the way they like to play. That's the way we are used to seeing them play. Does this lineup allow for them to play
OG's
faster?
turn to battle.
Not really.
If they lane well, it does. But like last game, they lost their safe lane so hard, and their first couple rotations got completely stopped. So
Yeah.
that's why they had no chance last game. So I don't know.
10
They can pressure
seconds
PA at least
remaining.
with like Shadow Demon 4 plus whoever the offlane is. But
5
PA is gonna be really
seconds
effective at later
remaining.
stages of the game when Chase Farm against SD and Rubik to kill him quick.
SD though
Alliances turn
is,
to battle.
I think it almost has to be core just because they need break so badly against Timber PA. Like, it's so good here.
You're just repeating my point, Scott.
Yeah, but then they have an SD core though.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this?
They really don't have a
It's-
great means of
10
like hitting goals
seconds
either on the side of it.
remaining.
Look, memes are in
It does.
nowadays.
I know.
that's so
I have the
good.
5
solution.
seconds
It will be
remaining.
Brew off lane, Shadow Demon mid, and then they go for the DP5.
OG's turn
I would
to
have liked them
battle.
I would have preferred a DP over Shadow Demon.
Curtis is no.
He's just
He's giggling over there.
He's actually thinking.
What
of
is the
it.
DP5 gonna do to stop PA from murdering her every single fight in 2 seconds?
Eventually,
The spears,
I
I
get an
guess.
item.
Seconds remaining.
Hopefully.
Oh, what a Yule to delay by 2.5 seconds.
I don't know.
Come
5
on.
seconds
All right, so what do
remaining.
you want to see on the side of OG?
A real mid hero is what I want to see.
Okay.
Ideally with Magic Burst, somebody that can help guarantee like PA kills. Something like Magic Nuke Heavy and Bursty. Lena like maybe not.
Alliance.
They've got a
It's
Nyx, like
turn
it's so
to
risky.
Yeah, Nyx does beat those type of heroes certainly, and that's what's kind of cool about the PA and Timber cores actually with Nyx covering it. It's like your Nyx is always gonna be good because heroes are weak to burst.
You know what?
OG's turn.
We're gonna see Liv play different hero for the first time in the European DPC League. A Void Spirit was like. Very cool. We did see Lions ban out both the Titan and Enigma, by the way. That means that they are assuming also Blue has 5. We got a Tiny
You
coming out
now
from OG as
select
the
your
last
hero.
pick.
Tiny mid. Yep.
Tiny mid.
Wow.
It's been a while.
No
You're playing against Limp on a tiny mid?
It's not a bad matchup. You can kill Void Spirit because the shield is purely for physical.
I'm just thinking of the fact that Limp is known for his tiny. Like, he's got to know that
Oh, so it's
up.
Thompson. I don't know, actually. It's been a while. Like, Tiny's been changed. It's definitely time favored.
Mhm.
And it makes sense because OG, like, they're definitely playing this more like assassin style. They've got to kill this Prophet, this Nyx. They're pretty susceptible to burst, you know. I kind of like this. I can't think of a better pick for Thompson here.
We see with Limp and S4 are debating who's
10
playing what.
seconds remaining.
Who is playing which one? Because we know both can play both.
5
right?
seconds
Yes,
remaining.
But shouldn't it
Well,
be S4 on the Timber?
I mean, if they put Timber mid, then Tiny's gonna have a really bad time, I assume. But in the same vein, Void Spirit wouldn't do nearly as well against Ricky, so they just have to decide to shut down, and they're gonna go for offlane Timber, or this S4 is playing it. I guess my viewpoint is I don't know if Thompson is going to have an excellent laning stage either way, but he does provide a lot of burst damage. And if he gets linked at a good time, he's going to destroy Prophet across the map, and he should be able to pressure the PA and maybe the Timber as well and get some really crucial kills. So it's the tempo kind of heal that they need. Maybe OG can win, but I like Alliance after.
All right, thank you very much. Purge. How? Your thoughts?
Could go either way. OG need to play a very specific game style to win. The Ricky and Tiny to get farmed. and the team fights have to be centered around Bruce. But, you know, Timber's annoying to go throw up in the air. You go for squishy supports. PA is low damage early on. It's certainly possible. I favor Alliance a bit, but anybody's game.
Going Alliance, you know, I went against them game number 1, and I shouldn't have, you know, being the Alliance fangirl that I am, but I take a look at what they got in the lineup, I see the Prophet, I like them off, it just kind of makes sense to me. So Alliance.
All right, let's see who gets the lanes they want, and let's see who can set the tempo for this second game of this best of 3 series. We're heading over to OD Pixel and BSJ.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, so Brian, we've heard what the panels had to say. What are some of your thoughts looking at the 2 drafts we have coming into this game too between OG and Alliance? Thompson bringing the tiny mid back. Is it going to work?
I'm just coming from the perspective of Ricky, where I've played this hero a lot this patch, and it feels like anytime you're dealing with the early tower pressure, you just lack any wave clear or anything you can really do to stop it yourself. And he's dealing with a 5-position Nature's Prophet and a Timber, who should be able to play up in his face for pretty much the entire early game, and there's not too much Ricky can do to change that. I think it's a lot going to be on Thompson to snowball the map control. Seeing Thompson and the TI do the whole phase boots, run around, never stop killing people strat. And I think he's going to have to get some crucial kills early, because PA is one of Ricky's worst matchups in the carry role. Ricky never really wants to buy MKB, and PA is also one of the few carries that can burst him in a matter of seconds before he gets that trick
30
trade
seconds
off.
to battle.
And sort of, you know, Tiny in this meta and as a hero, you know, why is this something that a lot of teams aren't picking? Like, what are sort of the downsides of Tiny? What does he not offer that so many other mids do in this pack?
I honestly think he's an okay hero. I just think he enables a lot of mid laners like Storm, who don't necessarily have the strongest levels like 1 through 3, that they would kind of just free farm.
The battle
And
begins.
that if you pick Tiny too early in the draft, it would hand a perfect game to the opponent. So in this case, Void Spirit's more of a very reliable laner. He kind of gets a decent start no matter what matchups he's in. So in this, like, he's more about enabling himself as the Tiny than it is about worrying about the farm of the opponent.
See how well Limp's able to do here. Match up against the Tiny. And sort of overall then, do you have a drafter that you do prefer coming into this game too?
I would much prefer to be the PA on Alliance's draft. I think Nico Baby last game surprised a lot of us with his ability to basically just do as much damage and be as tanky as he was on Weaver. And a lot of that was on the back of the space that S4 made for him. And I think we're kind of seeing a similar recipe. I think S4 should have a great early game. It's not going to be until later they can deal with Timbersaw. And PA's really only weakness is the same as Ricky. She lacks wave clear early. She hates to have people playing up in her face and running at her. So in this case, she's not really going to worry about the tower push as much as it is the Tiny that's going to be trying to invade her farm. That's what I'm worried about for the PA.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Thompson's able to make those moves in the mid game and really cause issues for Nico Baby when he's still sort of in that farming phase of the game. So far with the lane setup up top, but Sax is trying to do their best to put the pressure onto these two. I mean, is Nico Baby going to farm all right up here? Can FNG do enough to keep him safe in this lane?
Yeah, PA usually only struggles if they can dive, and they can harass her a lot. You may have to buy a little bit of extra regen. Prophet's a great support for that, though, because he can always TP back base and buy some himself or pick up anything. Figure it out. Rubik Brew Rester is a nice lane because you have the Cinder Brew that's easily activatable by the Fade Bolt, but I really am only afraid of kill lanes if I'm PA. He doesn't necessarily mind just daggering from afar. Her base damage nowadays is decent ever since they've been giving her that buff over the course of patches. It looks like he's going for the phase boots. I like this a lot against every hero that isn't Tiny. So I guess that's a bit of a concern, but it's nice in lane as well.
Dire's top tower.
Talking about the Ricky down bottom, Alliance doing a great job of really harassing mid one in this laning stage. Taking huge amounts of damage there from the two of them.
Yeah, they expertly counter this Ricky. Timbersaw, absolutely nothing you can do about it. From Ricky's perspective, and PA being the matchup, as good of a matchup as she is, I will be thoroughly impressed if mid one carries this. I feel like this is a very hard Ricky game. And I will learn a lot.
Not off to a great start. I mean, as you said, it's a hard game for the Ricky. And Alliance, they started off with a first blood against him. This lane proving to already be a little too much for mid one to handle and survive again.
That's actually crazy. Hanskin just went for the mana burn. Like Carapace really isn't that great in this lane against the low instance of damage from the Ricky Blink as well as the Shadow Demon Poison. So he's just being super annoying and saying, hey, mid one, if this lane wasn't hard enough for you already, here's less mana for you.
We'll see if mid one can play a little more safe as well. Again, just these two. Every time he tries to step up, making it very hard for mid one to find his farm down here. And, you know, obviously last game we saw mid one have a very tough time on the safe lane Ember, so eyes definitely on it. We'll see what he's going to be able to do this time round. As top lane, attempts to FNG. Nico Baby's going to jump over towards Daxter. FNG will go down. Nico Baby get the trade kill. Yeah, he'll be able to do all the Fairy Fire. Indeed, he wasn't quite ready for that. Did start to back off, and that's going to cost him the opportunity to finish that kill off, as Nico Baby won't be able to find him in return. Around the mid, Hanskin sweeps in, able to secure this arcane rune for Limp. A very juicy bottle refill for him as well. Something that Thompson would have, he's going to miss out on a lot here, as Thompson low on the mana front too. And bottom, yeah, I'm just consistently seeing mid one just being unable to really step up to the wave here.
He's look at his build for Ricky. That shows he knows he has absolutely no aggression potential here, as he is meant to weather this Timbersaw storm. The problem I have with this tiny last pick is that against Timber, if your carry can't naturally stay in lane against it and defend the tower, that usually you have like a mid laner like Ember or something that's gonna go bottom and just push the wave, distract the Timbersaw as much as possible. I don't really know who that is for us. I don't know who they bring down here to stall the Timbersaw's early momentum pushes with the catapults. As the thing that is Timbersaw is so nice here is he flourishes against carries that have to stay in lane. If you're a carry that can kind of just dip out and go jungle, Timbersaw loses a lot of his early effectiveness in terms of shutting down the opponent carry, but Ricky has no backup plan.
Mid lane, getting in onto Thompson, but Hanskin off the mark there with the stun. Thompson able to do a good job of juking it, turns around to look to kill off Hanskin, but the remnants out, protective disruption there from No Tail. His poison won't kill Hanskin, and Thompson does end up going down at the end of it all.
Yeah, you were mentioning he was struggling for mana, and he was 5 mana short of the Avalanche.
So there's chase in from Limp, another beautifully placed remnant. I mean, really getting the work done there with that arcane rune. 2 kills for Limp in the mid.
Yeah, this patch can be rather toxic with these early lineups with heroes like Timbersaw and Nyx, where you just can't deal with them. And it makes your whole entire game awkward because that movement mid is allowed to happen because Nyx is just not needed at all bottom. And the snowball effect is insane how quickly it comes into play. S4 is going to certainly be looking to apply a lot of pressure with this catapult. Bottom lane, he is level 6 as well, so that amps up his damage and aggression to threaten anybody who defends. Really interesting what he does.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
See, in the jungle, Hanskin and FNG starting to evade. Doing a lot of damage onto it, No Tail here, but able to make his way around the tree and body block. But yeah, as you say, it's definitely going to be a question of how on earth did they get these items onto Ricky. Like, can mid one go elsewhere on the map? As you said, you can't really hit the jungle creeps. Top lane, we'll see Thompson coming in with the rotation onto Nico Baby, but he had pretty much a full wand. He's going to be off and into the trees, and they can't hunt any further for him. So this move not going to be successful here from the two of them, as Nico Baby's able to sneak himself away. And yeah, this is just time wasted here for OG.
Really good itemization from Nico Baby, having the wand raindrops to be able to survive through that anticipated tiny burst.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid one having to be very cautious there. He gets caught by that remnant. He'd be dead for sure.
Bottom tower's already dead, by the way. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he just finished it off. I mean, this is, yeah, that bottom lane. I mean, it pretty much what went as you would sort of expect it to do, right? You've got this Ricky lane. They're never going to be able to hold off this Timber's early pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see anything that OG's entire lineup could do to stop him. S4 now going to play his own dead lane, making sure that there's no tower pressure on top coming out from OG. This is a really nice way to enable heroes like PA. They want to sit taking the safest farm on the map, chilling bottom. Yeah, Tiny's going to take over bottom. I guess I expected Ricky to stay bottom, but he's going to be jungling a small camp around mid. I don't know. It's not like a flame. I don't think there's much a better option than this one. That just not feel good. Game looks like.
I mean, I guess at this sort of stage, what for OG, the real pressure is going to be on Thompson and Step to just make moves and keep the game going to allow Mid1 to get the time to get his farm.
Yeah, I love what Thompson's doing here. He knows he can't really kill Nico Baby, but he knows Nico Baby can't really mess with him. So he's just being annoying.
Look at that!
And they're going to bring in a pair of hands here to try and have a go on to Thompson. Hansken joining to try and push Thompson back, but as you say, Thompson still very much knowing his strength. Top trying to get aggressive on 24, but yeah, he's not really under any pressure at all. In fact, Step might be forced to get out of it as he has to TP away from S4. It really does seem at the moment nothing they can do about this. Timber Limp comes in from the side with the DD ready to go, blows up Saxa. And the pressure will be onto another tier 1 tower. So not only S4's presence laning down bottom, allowing him to get that very early tier 1 tower taken from the safe lane of OG. Now moving up to this top lane, he's sort of pushed them out of this area of the map, and he's getting pressure onto a second tier 1 already at 9 minutes in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Whenever I watch teams like OG, I feel like I'm watching 5D chess, where I don't fully understand how they intend to win this game. And right now, if they win this game, at this very moment, I have no idea how that's going to happen. And I know it doesn't seem like they're down by that much, but PA is getting way better farm than the Ricky. And Timbersaw, I guess PA is only ahead by 100 gold. Wow, what? I just tuned into the network. Never mind, maybe I'm mistaken here. I just see all this stuff and I'm like, yeah, PA's farming bottom. Timbersaw's #1 on the net worth. Void Spirit's game's perfectly fine. Like all 3 cores on Alliance are perfectly happy. You'd rather have the good start on Timber than PA, because Timber's the one that's making space. So, man, OG, I feel like they just neglected to respond to Timber, which is a hero, in my opinion at least, requires a response. They look to invade or kill Nico Baby bottom. But he's Spidey senses are tingling here.
He's going to stick at least around the tier 1. He's got FNG to back him up.
Radiant's top tower.
And do you like this from Nico Baby? He's got the Desto queued up, so not going for the Battle Fury. I guess going for something that's going to allow him to play in a way that will really punish this whole time, where Mid1, he knows Mid1 has to get the Battle Fury on the Ricky, and he's going to be able to be so active before Mid1 has his core items to fight with.
I don't know how much I like this or not.
Mid there. Bringing on to Saxa.
Radiant's top tower.
So you see that OG's electing to just play completely away from the Timbersaw for him, but that's costing them all their tier 1s, because wherever S4 walks, bottom first, then top, now mid. Thompson's trying to make as much space and action happen as possible in the other lanes, but does killing a Nature's Prophet really matter all that much as Lip TP does?
I mean, definitely not. If it costs Thompson his life, Renner's going to be off the mark. Hanskin impaled down. Thompson's going to get burst out. Except he's out with the TP. If they got anything to stop it, they haven't. But as you say, you know, Thompson with the aggression, sure, he gets the profit, but he loses his life.
I would say space from Thompson and Step, but I don't really know space is what for, you know? I like this TP on from FMG to the high ground. This is one of the cute things you can do on Nature's Prophet support. You can do it on core too, but you know, you got nothing else to do when you support. He is only level 4, so he's basically just a ward for his team at this point.
And S4 still very much seemingly in unkillable territory. I mean, does it ever sort of,
tower is under attack.
When are they going to be able to kill this Timbersaw this game?
It looks like Seb has gone Brown Boots Spirit Vessel, so that's the timing they're looking for. But they didn't get any new charges bottom after using it to be aggressive on FNG there because he died too far away from the brew. S4, if they can hit this window where they get a Spirit Vessel charge before this Yules comes out, that I think is the narrow window they will have to hit.
Radiant's
S4 is going
middle
to
tower
single-handedly
is
take
under
mid
attack.
tower while it takes a 4-man commitment from OG in order to get the trade.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Thompson. Well, he's got to probably TP out immediately here.
Dire's top
If he
tower
wants to live, he's
is
going to
under
start
attack.
making his way out. And
middle tower
he's
is
out
under
in time.
attack.
It's good space.
Yeah.
When you're a mid and you have a hero like Ricky that just has to farm all the good farm,
Dire's
all the
top
nice
tower
safe
has
farm,
fallen.
and he's got no other options, you have to get creative. You have to take some super dangerous farm, force the enemy team to come respond to you without dying, and that's exactly what Thompson's doing here. The overwhelming blink.
Yeah, we'll see if he follows up on that. That'll be a pretty wild first time rush to complete overwhelming blink. See, the Haste Room's going to be grabbed up by S1. And S1 can look to run down Thompson here without the L-back minor disruption. Dagger out to tracks of a limp falls. The brew split out, and that extra bit of control to keep S4 held in place with the Wind Panda. Comes back down though. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything aggressive onto S4. They've got to start running away from it. They've still got the remainder of the Haste going. They'll try with the combo and the Spirit Vessel. That might just do it. He's out to the side of the Timber Chain, but the Spirit Vessel allows them to get the kill. Mid-one in with a finishing hit.
Oddly enough, they had to wait till the Brewmaster ulti ended because he still gets the Spirit Vessel charges while he's in Brew Split, but he can't use it until he comes out. So that was really well played by OG. That's step one. The thing about this Nico Baby item choice is that there's two ways you can go. You can try to capitalize on the fact that Ricky's not able to fight by going the Deso like he is, or you can just capitalize on the fact that he's going to be passively farming too, and you outscale him, so you just go for the passive farm route.
Radiant's
and he's
middle
choosing
tower
the
is under
former.
attack.
I feel like in NA they always choose the latter, so
Dire
I don't exactly know how this one's going to play out.
I know Hanscam was thinking around there with all the sentries they had set up.
Look at that.
Come and drop the...
Minute Battle Fury for mid one. Honestly, pretty damn good, all things considered. Really bad lane, but he has no farming steroid to enable him to get that sooner, like Jug type heroes and Troll type heroes do.
No, I mean, absolutely, considering the start he had. And as you say now, when you see mid-one actually being still able to achieve this sort of Battle Fury timing, does that makes you a bit worried, a bit more worried for the build that Nico Baby's going in return?
It just means that they have to get a lot done with the Deso and the timing they hit. They can't be content with the status quo of both teams farming at this point, because Ricky will just be much happier with the items he's bought compared to the PA.
Hotel. Gonna find the setup onto Lim, but just step by his side. Thompson starting to move in as well. Alliance, they are beginning to set up in the jungle. Actually, Limp maybe seeing if he can get the connection onto Seb. Seb, a split available, he's out of mana, and he's out of life.
Profit ulti.
See if they can get anything more out of this Demonic Purge, slowing down Limp for now. Over to the side, that's him. He's trying to get out, and he'll make it away. No TP cancel there between the two of them. Same to be said, as these, those surrounding Notel can't put a stop to his escape either. So, I mean, I'm definitely very intrigued to see if Thompson does indeed do this. I mean, it's not a lot of times you see the full blink, well, pretty much no time, where you see a hero that wants to rush the completed blink upgrade as their pretty much first and only major item.
There's one player in the world that'll do it. It's probably Thompson.
I mean,
it's almost got that Ags.
Yeah.
1,200 gold off. That's really important against Ricky specifically. Heavily reliant upon spellcasting to survive. Missed the dust bottom. Narrowly missed.
Yeah, very close there. Mid-one just able to jump outside of the range of it. And still, you know, as every moment passes, mid-one getting that little bit further ahead of Nico Baby's farm on the PA. They've got to get some action done with this Deso.
Suddenly, I'm really liking what OG's doing here. That tends to be how it goes when I'm watching OG in drafts where it doesn't really make sense to me what they were doing. They just killed the Timbersaw once. Suddenly, the momentum on the map, it's palpable. You can feel that's kind of gone. They've taken all the tier 1s, and now what?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Doing.
I mean, and you definitely seem right. It seems that, you know, I mean, what do Alliance go for here? I mean, all the tier 1's taken off the map. Like, what is the next move? Are you trying to make smoke moves with this PA and the Deso? You know, who are you trying to hunt down?
That's why I'm really surprised.
They're going to try and get the jump in, but again, stacks up. There's stolen spike campers, stopping the initial burst from Alliance. And now Saxon maybe trying to see if they can get the setup with the turnaround. Disruption used, but already Nico Baby finds himself his first target. He's going up to No-Tail, now turn over towards Thompson. In he goes, they'll get the two of them. Saxon trying to fight with the help of 7, his primal split. Nico Baby's going to end up going down as Mid-One gets the kill. Nico Baby's dead, Hansken also falling. As, you know, now FNG is in it. As Mid-One and Step, they're going to look for him. FNG goes for the TP out, but they got the stun. FNG going down. Is that all? And we'll see S4. I mean, I don't think the three of them will be able to do anything about him. Yeah, S4's going to be able to step away. But this has got to be a big concern, right, for Alliance, Ryan, is, you know, this is fights where your PA has got a Deso, an item to fight with, but you're losing to the team that has the Ricky with the Battle Fury. Mid-One's getting more out of these fights than Nico Baby is.
Yeah, my honest interpretation, and this is with the presumption that I'm 100% willing to be wrong, is that I see them take all these tier 1s, and I look at the map right now, and I'm not really sure what Alliance can do objective-wise, like to further their map advantage. And by going this Desolator, you're pretty much saying that's what you want to do. You want to go continue to force the issue, while if you had just gone Battle Fury, you would be content trading Corn because PA scales better than Ricky. So I'm really skeptical of Nico Baby's plan of this game, and just like I was skeptical of what OG was doing earlier, I'm skeptical of what his vision of the game is.
Thompson, they will manage to get the kill on the set. Mid-One finds FNG now. Mid-One and Thompson, they're seeing if they can get back in on this. Thompson, controlled by the Yules and Alliance, completely splitting. Mid-One won't be able to find any kills, but again, just finding the space to continue to get his axe done, and it's pretty much there. So, again, just all things said and done, when you look at the lane that Mid-One was given at the start, the beginning he was having, 20 minutes in, he's got his axe Battle Fury. This is brilliant timing for the Ricky.
So what skipping the Battle Fury does for Nico Baby is that usually you go Battle Fury, Deso, BKB. But now since he's removed the Battle Fury, his BKB timing will be a bit earlier than it would otherwise have been. So the fact that it's going to have maybe a minute or two earlier BKB, but his later timings will be delayed, it just means that they really have to hit that timing hard. That's what I'm looking for. I always go into the assumption that these players know more than I do about this scenario, so I expect that's what he's probably going to be looking for. As OG wants to get tier 1, as calling out as best he can.
See how much Alliance can do to slow down this push. S4 standing forward, but immediately the vessel's down onto him into the follow-up combo. He's caught the smoke screen. We're going to see him try and jump over the walls to squishies. He's looking for the Shadow Demon. He'll get it. Big crit comes out from Nico Baby as No-Tail falls. S4 still alive, chains himself away. The vessel continues to tear down though. Thompson in with the chase. Another burst combo takes out S4. The damage from the tricks of the trade sets up for another as Mid-One gets the kill. And now Nico Baby, he's isolated alone. The stolen to stimulate from Saxon, giving him the ability to dodge to the side, keep himself away from the PA. PA getting controlled here by Thompson and Seb, as there's another dead S4 brought back here in an attempt to turn this fight around, but he's just alone. The vessel down upon him. Another plan put in place as S4. He's got to be careful. He brought back for this. He's trying to get out of the start of the tributary, but Thompson blinks in again. It's a dieback on S4 here at 22 minutes. And the numbers, it's 14 to 14, less than 1k in. But you really can't help but feel that Alliance is really losing any sort of momentum this game. And the mid-bonds Ricky is going to become a big, big problem.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
When I say PA scales better than Ricky, that's assuming they both have the same farm. The one is 3,000 net worth ahead already, and he went Battle Fury Axe. Kills 3 waves instantly, as you see top here. He just pushes his 3rd spell, and boom, they're dead. On the other hand, PA, he's being forced to fight. He has a fighting build. He's died twice ever since buying it. I legit think this could just be a misread from Nico Baby. I think OG is punishing this, like, sense that Alliance had that they could continue forcing the issue. They were being aggressive with the Timbersaw when they had Spirit Vessel but no Yules, and now they're trying to fight in a time that it appears was too early for PA to be able to fight here, because even when he went for these fighting items, he's kind of just died to the tiny overwhelming damage and the control coming out from the Brewmaster. Spirit Vessel owning. Yeah, it's pretty sick from Seb. I really do think like OG had to play this near flawlessly to punish what Alliance is doing here, so it's more impressive to me what OG is doing than it is you know, the shortcomings of what Alliance that happened recently.
I'm gonna have OG entering into the pit. Will be scanned out by Alliance. See if they're gonna be able to try and put up a fight to push OG off this objective. We have Seb, and Seb just 100 gold away from having Aghanims himself. And it looks like even with the scan Alliance, they're not looking to do anything about this. They don't feel confident of taking a fight around the pit in this moment where Nico Baby's still a few hundred gold off the BKB. So OG, they're going to be able to get this one for free.
Are scanning. Your shine has fallen into the Radiant.
I think one of the hardest things to do in Dota is to accept that you can't do anything about what the other team has. And I think what the secret to OG's success this game was to accept that they could absolutely do nothing about the Timbersaw for so long in the game, as Zeb dies to the Lent solo plus the Nature's Prophet ulti. And I don't know if you've checked it out, Owen, but have you looked at Thompson's item queue?
Yeah, he's nearly got it, dude.
He's committing.
He is committing. It wasn't a meme. It's, as you said, if any player's going to do it, if anyone's going to rush the straight upgraded Blink, it would be Thompson. I mean,
middle tower is under
what do you think about it? I mean, it's going to add a lot of damage to his combo, right? And it's going to be something else that's going to be very hard for Alliance to run away from when he's in with that slug.
I think it's all about the control. People in the Ricky trade as well.
That's true. Very true. And bottom lane, I mean, S4, after what was such a solid start with the way that he was able to play around the map, get the the tier 1s as early as he did with the pressure, his game has just taken a massive hit at this stage.
Yeah, Timbersaw, he's feast or famine. He's either unkillable or he's a pinata because he's used to be unkillable and now you just feed off of the candy inside. I look at this overwhelming Blink from Tiny, and I actually ask myself, what would be like a better item? What does Tiny need to do his job in this game? I can't really think of anything. He's just going to be a Blink combo anyway, so might as well make that Blink combo that much more potent, as it's now an AoE slow, and it also does, at this point, about 340 damage. Blink's in.
That's a fair amount. And then, of course, adding into extra bit of damage he's going to have with the punch, thanks to the strength and that general tankiness. I mean, it all checks out. A very nice hero to get this item on. And yeah, the slow, as you say, I mean, it's a very strong slow. 6 seconds slow. 50% movement speed. Mid lane, Thompson coming in onto the two of them. As you can see, Hansken, he's going to really struggle to run away from this sort of initiation now. Anytime that Thompson's in with the overwhelming Blink, you cannot run.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
That will be a free kill here for the side of Alliance. While I say that, Thompson's going to come in with the counterplay. Nico Baby has to put the BKB and run away. First charge down, and he's having to use it to retreat. S4 has been found in the trees. He's trying to get his way out of there, but there's just so much damage. And now Midland with a full Daedalus at 27 minutes in. He's ready to start kicking out those 1k crits.
Yeah, this is when Ricky looks
absolutely disgustingly broken. And he's this far ahead with these items against these fragile heroes coming out from Alliance. A really high win rate against Nyx and pubs, by the way, guys, if you're having some trouble with Nyx. Really hard to stun somebody who's invulnerable during the damage that they deal.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See if they can get in there once. I don't think they're going to be trying it for a second time right now.
It's probably the last time mid one hits a building this game. Probably what he realizes there. Kind of the nature of Ricky. The hero's kit is all about the informational advantage that he gains by being invisible and then being able to jump you, so that is very counterintuitive to hitting buildings. But he had the Aegis there, so it's not like he lost anything major. Back to farming.
Very juicy rune as well there. Remember, TD they're going to pick it up. And looking for the setup here. Onto mid-bomb. They've got the trap with the remnant, but a nice save here from Notel with the disruption. The follow-up is there from Hanskin, though, comes in with the stun, and there's crits are there this time in the hands of Nico Baby as they take down mid-bomb. See what more they can get from this. Nico Baby over towards Saxa. They'll get a second. Alliance, can they get more from this? They're trying to chase down Set. He comes out of the split. This is out, though. Nico Baby's ready to jump over. And finally, Alliance able to get the team fight in the way that they hoped for. Enabling Nico Baby, allowing him to go from target to target, and starting things off by taking down that Ricky.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. There's no way you're farming your way back into this game for Alliance. Really good move by them. I love watching it. Like I said, I'm skeptical of what the PA's items were in terms of the timing, but this is exactly what they flourish at, and despite being down, they have identified exactly what they need to do to win this game, and I think they know better.
Radiant's middle tower
I love to watch it. I love the fact that FNG is going these nice enabling items. He's basically giving his PA extra network. He's got drums, he's got a solar, he's going a soul cuirass after that. This is just effectively giving Nico Baby an item or two. Comes to that carry-to-carry matchup as the game goes on, that can definitely tilt the balance in Nico Baby's favor, even if Ricky is higher network.
And yeah, a fan of this was seeing it first time this patch as well. You know, Notel getting the bots nice and early on his Shadow Demon.
Of course, yeah. Just a normal
just OG
travel Shadow Demon timing, yeah. I think Boots of Travel can offer so many things to different heroes. One of which can be like split pushing away from your team. I think in the case of Shadow Demon, it's that he can show up to fights and ganks because he's like that crucial +1 to offer that extra damage. I think that's what he's going for here.
Thompson trips up. They've got to be cautious though. Thompson has this DD ready to go for the next gun. He's going to pop it now. Alliance, they want to try and find this Seb. The split. As Alliance themselves to separate.
Top tower is under
They jump on a Notel. Notel has to buy back. They're instantly taken down with a big crit. Seb has the control onto Lim. See Nico Baby focusing down Thompson with his BKB up. He's getting the work done. A second kill for Nico Baby. The BKB does now come to an end though, so he has to be careful to chase here, but he's out with a blink. Off to the side. OG try and turn their efforts towards S4, but he's put underneath the tier 2. Actually thinking about chasing back in on this. Dust still out onto mid.
Mana burn stolen. That's super annoying for us. You gotta love the entering the carry's mindset from mid one. He had the Aegis and he queued up the butterfly, dies with the Aegis, then dies afterwards. Suddenly the BKB. Well, it looks like I'm gonna need one of those. We've all been there, I'm sure. Do you usually buy BKB after your third Battle Fury, Owen, or when do you usually go for it?
I usually buy it in the next game.
Oh, of course.
You can see a little bit of the old rat-tat-tat here from FNG. Instantly put to a stop.
I think what No-Tail is doing with the Boots of Travel is that somebody at all stages of the game is going to have to deal with this annoying split push. And honestly, nobody else really wants to. Tiny wants to be ganking, Ricky wants to be farming while looking to be the +1, Brewmaster's the frontline team fight, so he's probably the best candidate. Enough.
Getting aggressive here by the tower, looking to take out Notel. OG's there with a response. They lose Notel, but mid-one, he's found the setup straight in onto FNG with tricks of trade. He gets the crit, takes down the Prophet. See what more they can look for. Lim committing with the BKB. He's got the catch onto the Ricky. Nico Baby's there with a follow-up. Another crit in as Nico Baby takes down mid-one. I mean, mid-one's down for 80 seconds. Alliance, they are pulling these fights out effortlessly now. Despite this period of the game where Mid1's farm was starting to get ahead, they're controlling and killing the Ricky. This is a huge amount of time. Ricky's out of the game. Alliance is going to be able to put a huge amount of pressure onto the base. Stops them. Trying to slow them down. I mean, they'll just start moving over towards it. The sun's on him. Nico Baby's in with a follow-up. Thompson's dead. No buyback on him either. I mean, all the tier 2s have been taken. They've got a lot of space Alliance to at least take one set of racks. And maybe even more with the fact that these buybacks aren't up.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Yeah, this is, I always say I'm either right or I'm learning. And I'm learning a lot.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is just, you know, it's clear now that this is the plan that Alliance had all along. They were just playing for this 30 minutes, group up and go. It didn't matter if Farm was going to be there on mid-1. They felt confident in the initiation. We've seen pretty much each time, you know, Limp and Handscan, they've been getting that opening onto the Ricky, whether it be the Remnant or the Impale, and it's just ruined mid-1's game. It's been irrelevant how much farm he's had on him, because they're just blowing him up throughout the durations of the stuns that they have.
Yeah, it might be a bit of overconfidence from mid-1 to go for the Daedalus before BKB, maybe like casual Crystallis before BKB. There's so many small mistakes that you can make in the game of Dota, and sometimes they just snowball into oblivion, as he's probably needed a BKB for the last 2 or 3 team fights now. As you said, Alliance has chain stunned him perfectly with the Ag's Void Spirit as well as the Impale from the Nyx, and PA represents the damage you need to kill him, and that's why this matchup's so good for PA. And you end up taking the blur evasion on Nico Baby, so Ricky literally doesn't touch you. He's got 80% of it.
With this smoke move, they can catch one of the big boys, maybe find Thompson. They do. There's the opening. Nico Baby getting the bash straight up. The follow-up's there. Thompson, he needs help. Is he going to get in time? No, they're all bailing on him. They can't save Thompson. As out for 80 seconds again. Alliance just blowing this game wide open now. 7k lead for them. DD Rune popped on Nico Baby. He can really start to continue to keep this pressure on. I mean, there's smoke up on OG. But I don't think they're going to be scared of too much. They'll look to take the Roche with this DD, heading over to the pit. But OG, I mean, they've just taken huge hits now in the last 5 minutes of play. And I think they're going to be pretty shaken up by all of this.
I think they have to get an MKB or a Rapier on mid-1. It looks like they're going to let Nash just contest the Aegis. It's going back so quickly, though.
They've got to get it. I don't think they're going to be able to get it soon enough. The damage from Nico Baby. He's taking it down too quickly, and he's got it. There's the kill. There's the Aegis. They're outside of the pit. They do lose Limb. Instant burst combo comes into play. Handscan over the beautiful stun onto the 2 of them. The setup there onto No-Tail. Stolen Impale thrown back in. Will cause the death of Handscan. See what Nico Baby can clean up. He's jumping over. He's been able to find the first target. No-Tail. Now he turns over towards mid-1. Mid-1 popping the BKB, but he's having to run with this BKB. He's trying to get out of here. Seth comes to a finish with the split. Remnant out, controlling him. Mid-1's trying to jump back in with the tricks. The traders, he got enough damage to kill Nico Baby. Nico Baby getting low, but the BKB's still good to go. As they've got a backup, they can't even kill Nico Baby the once hit, as they have to get back into position to protect their act.
Yeah, they're just super durable on Alliance's side. All that blur evasion, the Temper Saw, and FMG doing exactly what Nature's Prophet does best. It's even better when it's just a 5 position. You do the same thing as a core Nature's Prophet would, maybe a bit slower, but every fight they're on a timer on the side of OG. And this is just kind of Ricky. The nature of snowballing heroes, man. You either kill everybody in 1 second, or they end up being durable enough to not die at all. He is queuing up the Rapier. He knows
he needs it.
They're out this game.
Yeah. Especially with this AC Solar Crest build from FNG. That's, you know, perfect to have alongside with this PA. And a PA now with the Ags complete. So it's going to be even harder to control in these fights.
Yeah, PA is always also good against Ricky because Ricky feeds the information game. He wants to jump you, and the Ags, Nico Baby shows he truly understands this matchup. It's obviously winning to buy anyway, but
He's going in on S4. There's a lot of backup here for S4. Midbon, he's got to get on the retreat. Tops is able to get into the combo on the two of them. As he's found like the look off the cheese BKBs up, he's going to be fine. Silence onto Nico Baby. Nico Baby trying to run. The stun's there from the brew. Can Step finish him, but once he can't. Nico Baby's still fine and good to go. Midbon has to use the BKB to retreat. Big stun comes out. They burst through the aegis of Nico Baby. And also find the life of Hanskin. Can they kill Nico Baby a second time? As he's standing to the side, still has the backup of Limp, FNG, and S4. Alliance.
So BKB.
They still seem happy to go in on this Limp. Starting things on the Thompson. Nico maybe looking for the perfect time to jump in. Still watching from the side. First through Limp. That is Limp down for 100 seconds. Now Nico maybe looks to commit. In onto Step. That's going to be the brew down. Now popping the BKB. Turns over on Thompson. A buyback comes out for Step, but he cannot get in position to save Thompson in time. As Thompson is down. They have caught S4 on the high ground. As S4 not quite able to make it back out as easily as Nico Baby did. So S4 will get left behind here. Chase from Saxa, finding further setup onto FNG as OG look to try and get as much as they can off this defense, but they won't be able to stop the TP out. The Prophet's away, and Nico Baby's back in!
The sentry on
He buys the Ricky! Saxa's got a ghost step to save himself. But Nico Baby just weaving perfectly in and out of these fights. As he's just in again. He is diving into tier 4s. They do have the stun control. He's 20-second cooldown on the BKB. Alright, I mean, I guess weaving perfectly in and out of the fights until then. And they have indeed got what they came for. I don't think he's going to be too fussed with being dead for 90 seconds. He may not have buyback, but how much can OG do about this? Up against the mega creeps here at 39 minutes. Alliance, they're definitely tasting the victory here in this game. It feels very close to them if they can keep this up for one more fight and just push OG over the edge.
It was so crucial that Mid-1 survived that fight. His buyback here cost him so much time on his rapier because I thought that was going to be the hardest hold for OG to get past. But the only reason that it was going to be the hardest one was because if Mid-1 survives, he'll have a rapier for the next one. And that is their timing for OG. They have to somehow keep this game going for long enough to make that happen. This game has been wild back and forth. Every single time I think one team's favored to win the game, the other team seems to take the reins. So I almost have to believe at this stage that I would favor OG based on my interpretation of this game so far.
I mean, OG's definitely got to do something pretty wild to come back into this one right now.
Is under attack.
Yeah, so they're on the probability 6% here for OG, 94 for Alliance, considering how well Alliance has done here in all of these fights and how well Nico Baby's just popped off with this build and in a way that, you know, regardless of the farm that Mid-1 had early on, Mid-1's still very much a vulnerability. If one of these carries gets caught out, it could be pretty much game for each team. As up top, Thompson, he's caught out alone. And again, no buyback, still just a little short on the goal. 40 gold short of the buyback here, Thompson Alliance. They're going to try and chase for more. S4 leading in. Pokes out a response from Mid-1. Mid-1 actually jumping over to the small creep. Nico Baby's prepared with the dust. Mid-1 trying to hide in the trees, jumps over the cliff here with the tricks of the trade. He'll be able to get out of there. There'll be a buyback from Saxa. Seb committing with the split. Well, Seb can chase down. He's trying to go in onto S4, but with the hood and the bloodstone, S4's fine. Bottom lane, FNG going for a bit of split pressure. OG, they'll be able to punish it as FNG caught on his own. They'll find themselves the kill.
Such a tall ask for OG here. They have to push lanes against Nature's Prophet, Negas, and the pickoff potential of an Axe TA and the Nixie Cell. They quickly are wrangled back into their base here.
Obviously, Mid-1 trying to start the action here with Seb. As Lim always straight in off the backline. He's found the catch from the Sax. He's ever bursting down over the stage comes in. The disruption gives Sax a bit of time, but Hanskin has the impale to follow it up. They've caught Limp. Limp is dead though. Damage is enough here from Mid-1. And into the trees, they'll find Hanskin as well. The cloud is down. Hanskin, has he got any means of escape? He's trying. He's running through the trees, but they're on top of him once more. The tricks of trade will do it.
1,300 gold for that rapier.
He's closing on it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You get that gem under their control. I mean, once he has the rapier, I mean, how hard is it going to be for Alliance to push into it? Like, do OG realistically have this chance to swing this game round with that rapier?
The big thing is that PA and BKB right now is invincible, but once he gets the rapier, that's not the case anymore. So it will affect a lot about PA's ability to actually dish out damage in the fight, because Nico Baby will have to be much more selective about when he goes in. And yeah, I don't really know how OG consistently gets out on the map unless they kill heroes. So if Alliance doesn't really fight into them, I don't know how they get out, but I also don't know how Alliance goes high ground now, unless they kill OG. It's definitely a matter of who can get the initiation onto who around the map. As Ricky, as he scales into the game,
Dire's middle tower
becomes
is under attack.
so obnoxious to deal with because you just can't see him, and suddenly you're dead. As he now hits for almost 600 damage, ignoring backstab.
All right. I mean, they're up against the Megas, OG.
And he's got ninja gear. That's actually even more annoying. God, this game would be so annoying to play. You're dealing with an Axe PA, split pushing Nature's Prophet with ninja gear, and a Ricky with a rapier. I don't know. Very enjoyable to watch, but I don't envy the people that have to play against this.
No, this is certainly a good one. As Alliance, you know, the fact that they have these Megas, they seem on the verge of victory, but it's only 5k between them, and this Ricky with the rapier is it could definitely be a problem. It's going to be all down to the execution right now. Alliance.
Can get that level 25. 3 toss charges would...
OG this time around could give Alliance a pretty formidable fight around the pit, and Alliance know it. They're a little cautious on how they commit for this.
Dire are scanning.
They know that OG's going to come in and try and make the jump. And there it is. Actually, it's going to be Lim starting things off. He looks to come in with the BKB there, the catch out, take down Stack. Spike Carapace set up onto Seth. We see S4 running towards the backlines, trying to split OG apart. Topson comes into the combat. Lip1 jumps over. The BKB coming out from Nico Baby as Nico Baby's out of the tricks of the trade. He's on the retreat. Lip1's looking for a target. He chases down to get it. Still got to press down onto the PA and they've got the damage with this rapier. Lip1 claims the double kill. See what S4 could do to put a stop to this. Lip1's actually keeping out. He's got to defend the base. He has to get back to the tier 4s. Steph's getting run down by S4. Can Steph get himself away from this? Another Yule's there. Fine time for Lim to close the gap. In with the remnants. Steph down for 2 minutes. Mid1's out on the map. He's got the silence onto Lim. Lim getting taken out. The crits come into play. Mid1 gets the kill. Lim high back immediately. Nico Baby in with a bit of fast control, but Mid1's still got the BKB good to go. The Avalanche drop down. Mid1 on the chase. He's over towards S4. S4 chaining out to the side. Another jump with the tricks of the trade. That's PA down and out. A dieback on Nico Baby. Mid1 just tearing them apart here with the rapier.
Their base. Oh god! Jojo the solo kill. FG.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Brian, there's 2 heroes down for 2 minutes. How much can OG get done with this?
Has been
I don't know if they can get anything done. That's the thing. It's like, how do you even get out of your base?
Dude.
I guess Nature's Prophet is dead now, but you're still dealing with Nyx, so nobody can go alone.
I mean,
anybody is susceptible.
Brian.
Mid1 actually elects to carry the gem. Okay, never mind. He drops out. I'm curious if he's going to hold on to that.
And you know, Mid1, talk about big brain stuff. Do you like this? Queuing up an arcane blink, so he's got that extra spam ability on his spells.
Yeah, it's not just the spam ability, it's also the reach you have.
Yeah.
You're able to follow up your Topson combo from a much further distance. We've seen it before, I think in China region, they go for this arcane blink. I think it was, I can't even remember who did it first, but, Ame was doing it. It's pretty cool. It also lowers the cast point on tricks of the trade, which can sometimes be the difference maker when you're dealing with stuns and burst damage from Nyx.
Now OG, they're over to the pit.
And Ags on Shatter Demon as well.
Yeah.
So suddenly that break that the panel was talking about during the draft is coming into play. I think there's a lot against PA too. Nico Baby's gonna struggle in these fights. Rapier for the damage threat and the break for the inability for him to deal damage.
I mean, they've got to find Mid1 right. If you don't catch this Ricky at the start of the fights, Mid1's just going to clean up every single time. And as we've seen,
I'm the invisible guy, you know?
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, as you said, you know, you mentioned earlier, obviously OG, it's not necessarily easy for them to find the PA. But definitely even more difficult for Alliance to find the Rifty. as long as mid-1 is able to keep himself to the side and be truly confident in his whereabouts of Alliance's hero's positioning before he commits in. So going for the Roche. Alliance are all back up. They're going to take this Roche down pretty quickly with that rapier damage.
It has to be quick because the lanes are pushing in.
Just scouting things out with the Wind Panda, able to hold people back as well. OG, they're going to be able to get this cleaned up. Who's taking what? Thompson? He's going to take the axe. Now they're chased in. They've got the catch on the S4. Limb jumped in with the BKB, trying to help out. Can they burst him out? The base is dying though. Tier 4s are falling. If Alliance could just try and keep OG out and distracted, the Treants might just do it. The first tier 4 down, the second tier 4 down as well. As OG, they may be getting the kills, but they've got to get back. FNG's in, he's looking to close this round. Treants are doing it. FNG's going to be able to end the game. He's got it, surely. Thompson is trying to hold them off, but the creeps, they've finished it. Alliance will win the game. I mean, Alliance. I mean, it wouldn't be any other team on a sort of victory like that at the end. I mean, they played it the smart. I mean, again, we've seen it so many times, really. This New Age Alliance with FNG and his Prophet, you've got to be ready for that. FNG's always going to look for that avenue to close games up and secure themselves the W. And they do it, Brian. An excellent close-up from them.
Yeah, I think if FNG didn't do that, they lose this game. Pretty sure. What an emotional roller coaster. I love these types of games.
Yeah.
Because there's very few games in Dota as you play more and more that you get to see things that you have never seen before, or see things that you truly did not comprehend going into this game. And both teams really pulling out all the stops. I loved a lot of the moves that OG made early to evade this Timbersaw. I love the timing that Alliance hit while Ricky had the Battle Fury and BKB was up on the PA. I love the moves from FMG on the map, the itemization, everything was just awesome. And both teams had a clear-cut vision of how they were going to win this game. And also both teams had their fair share of errors that were capitalized on by the other team. In this case, FMG punishing OG for fighting after the Aegis. And that's just something where if he wasn't on top of it all game, it wouldn't have mattered. So kudos to FMG. I'd give him MVP, but well played by both teams.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. This FNG Prophet, I mean, it still feels surprising that we see him get it as many times as he does. With the way that Alliance are able to play around it, and FNG is able to put that sort of pressure on and just secure those wins. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very impressive cleanup here from Alliance in an action-packed game, a brilliant game too as well. And with that, Alliance, they secure themselves the series victory 2-0 against OG.
Thank you, OD Pixel and BSJ. Who wants to say it? Who wants to say it?
You are playing against Alliance. You do not ban Nature's Prophet. Alliance instantly pick Nature's Prophet. You lose the game. The next time you play Alliance, you ban Nature's Prophet because you are not stupid. God, OG.
Yeah, I know we forgot a sentence in that.
I did.
But please forgive me.
It's been a while since we had a chance.
It has. We're